why was that so? What would say impactful on you that she would give up heaven to go back? To help form the church.
When she was in heaven, you mean?
Right. How she had been taken. You had said she'd been given the offer to stay, and she says, "No, I need to go back." What about that was so impactful for you? Would you have given up heaven to go back?
I don't know whether I would or not.
Yeah.
Because she was happy there, because the angels had given her all those fancy clothes and rings and stuff, and she was all dressed up, and they were singing
She's
her
right.
praises.
They gave her beautiful gifts.
But she realized too that she wasn't greater than her son, and her son had to suffer before he got to go back to heaven. So she would go back and do her job too. So
beautiful. No, it struck me too.
Those apostles were dumb. They didn't know what. So she had all the marbles.
It's like I said.
Yes, she did.
They had 3 years with the man. She had 33.
She had all the marbles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to show Larry something, and then we'll try to put it on the camera. You talked about they gave her rings. So I went to Mexico, and let me explain it, then I'll show it to Larry. I went to Mexico, and I got this gold. And within the gold, when I read this 35 plus years ago about ascend higher and stuff, I had 3 diamonds that represented the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And I have one, what do they call it? The blue, what's the sapphire? Sapphire. The sapphire represents our Blessed Mother's birthstone. I think September, or is that right, Rita?
Yeah.
So I got a sapphire, and the sapphire sits just below Jesus, or would be one of the diamonds on the right-hand side of the Father. And then there's, on the other side, we have a cross that just is part of the ring that was inlaid on the ring. And so that was a ring. The gold was from Mexico, and then was a local jeweler put that together. When I went to Israel, I picked up another ring that had like 6 sapphires and 6 diamonds. And this represents, 12 apostles or the 12 tribes of Israel, or, whatever in terms of, and they were joined together. The rings were joined together. And so, ridiculous as it sounds, I'm thinking, well, why don't we present this ring or is a token of our Blessed Mother's coronation? And this will be the ring that we give her, which is, kind of foolish to a certain extent. But it was your idea of revisiting our Blessed Mother coming back to help the early church, and her prior to that, her ascending higher to the Holy Trinity, and they were giving her gifts and different things. And of course, the angels gave her. Oh, look, it fits. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, it fits you. So
a little wishy-washy there, but.
No, it does. It fits you perfect. I don't think it fits me.
A little femmy, but.
But at any rate, this is the ring. I don't know if I get.
It's pretty. You took the 2 rings and bonded them together.
Right. But if you'd like to see it, I'll let Larry. He can bring and show you if you'd like.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's again, what can we offer? How can we acknowledge? But I thought this would be a nice way to, at least in human terms, that we're thinking about her and we love her, and but that was inspired by the readings that you wanted to revisit, and it impacted me to such an extent that I go off the rails and do this. But
that was 35, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
So
it impacted me to the lady would come back and ascend so high. I mean, you can imagine being that close to the Holy Trinity, and then I'm going back to this place called Earth, which is like.
She gave up that for the bigger goal.
She had all the marbles, didn't she?
And she knew there were more people back there. I can't leave them alone. I got to go help them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But she was offered to go to heaven before her own death. So,
yes.
Right.
That's right.
So so apparently Joseph had died, Jesus was gone, and so they're offering to
before 40 days after our Lord resurrected and was ascended into heaven, and she went with him, and then by location, they left. She was left with the disciples in the cenacle, but that was a bilocation. They didn't know she left.
So she bilocated to heaven.
The real Mary went into heaven, and however you bilocate, I think it's the same. I don't know what they do, but it's two places at the same time.
Two Marys, you know.
And the reason they did, right or wrong? Rita?
Right.
And the reason they did that, if she'd have left and gone with them, they really would have been miserable.
Well, of course, they'd have been really distracted and not.
Okay.
They might even gotten argumentative amongst themselves.
Right. So, our Lord, it's the beauty of a redemption, and they talk, Larry and I, as we read some of this stuff, of the enormity of love that she has, and that she draws God to the mercy, and Our Lady draws God to the mercy of people that think that they're, hopeless cases, or that they would never be forgiven. And that's not the case, is it?
Well, it's like you said, draws to the mercy and the clemency of God. But Mary is the conduit for that. I mean, Jesus is good on his own, but sometimes some people are too afraid to reach out and say, I'm not worthy.
Well, sure,
they don't even bother knocking on the door.
Not at all. And they despair, and despair leads to darkness.
Yeah. It's like being a kid out for Halloween candy. I remember we didn't go up to this one house because the light was out, but we knew that, that the people were home, but they just hadn't turned on their lights yet. And good thing we did, because they had full-size Snicker bars.
Yeah, those were. That was a big deal. Yeah. No, that was a big deal.
It was like a.
It was a big deal.
Nobody was stopping there because the light was out. And she hadn't turned the light on.
That's right.
Hadn't thought about it. But you got to knock on those doors, and a lot of people are too afraid to knock because they don't feel like it's worthy. But they would have missed out on the full-size, Snickers.
Rita, I want to ask you. One of the areas that we're going to cover is bilocation. And
why? What?
Bilocation. We're going to talk about bilocation. Mary did.
Okay. Yeah.
Are you familiar with that? And do you know of anybody that's done that in the church, or that you know of that has been involved in that?
Well, I know Pio could. So they tell the story about how he had relatives in Milwaukee.
Oh, really?
And the man was dying, but he wasn't dead yet, and he was sitting on the front porch, and just sitting there, and this priest came walking up the sidewalk, and gave him the last rites, and so then the relatives in the house decided it was time for him to get the last rites.
Yes.
He's not doing well. And he said, I already had him. He said, well, who? He said, well, that priest that walked up the sidewalk. And she said, he described him, it was Pio. And so he had bilocated to Milwaukee. So. Wow.
My Jewish friend, a couple of days ago, we were talking, and he brought up Padre Pio, and I'm thinking, Richard, how do you know about Padre Pio? Well, he must have read or something. He said, yeah, well, he was a beautiful priest. They said the hierarchy spit in his face, but he was a humble priest, and he bilocated. And I said, now they make him a saint. Why didn't they treat him like a saint when he was living? Because he suffered a lot. But, so he came to Milwaukee to a family and gave the last rites.
Yeah.
He was a beautiful man, and he suffered, I think, the stigmata. Is that correct?
Right.
Then before he died, I guess it cleared up. And
I don't know, but he
Yeah.
usually wore the fingerless mittens.
Yeah. At the end, there was no sign that he had bled for 50 years. No scars, no marks. And so, yeah.
So the Gino took his place after he died,
Yeah.
and he got the stigmata.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, and so that's when we went to Italy.
Yeah.
And saw Father Gino.
Oh, you
had just
did?
been made a priest. Yeah.
So he had the stigmata, the same as Padre Pio.
Yeah, and he always dressed his hands in dressing for him.
Wow.
So-
Okay. Yeah, he did. He was the one that assisted. Did you talk with this man?
Yeah.
What did he say?
Yeah. Well, he didn't talk. He couldn't speak English, so the nun translated everything for him, and so he had mass then for us, and everybody wanted to go to communion to him, and so they said before mass, don't try to go to communion to him. He doesn't distribute, because everybody would want to go to him, but there were so many people in the church that day that Father Gino did help. And so he took the side where I was on, and so that I did get to go to communion to Father Gino.
Wow.
He saw you there and he says, I can't resist.
That's St. Rita here. You gotta
I
please
see St.
step
Rita
aside, everybody.
Yeah.
She's
yeah.
got marbles,
So-
too. It's,
She's got marbles.
well, she said our Blessed Mother, she's got all the marbles.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right.
Well, I think after a while you're given a few marbles just to help rattle around a little bit and keep you busy. I mean, we're all children. Well, that's cool.
Yeah. That was a good trip. Because Father Gino was an artist too, so that he could make things and sculpt them. So he did one of the baby Jesus, and he took a olive branch and carved a baby Jesus out of it. And when he got done, the authorities and all checked it over and said it was anatomically correct. And so
Wow.
they put it underneath the altar on the left-hand side in this church, and so these people would every Friday they would say the rosary and walk around the property while they were saying the rosary. And so this one Friday, it was raining so hard, it rained for 3 days, and it never stopped. And so the people didn't come to say the rosary. So when it came time for the rosary, the only people that were there was the priest and the nun and the sexton. And so they thought, well, we can't walk outside. Where are we going to walk? Inside? And all we've got's a church to walk around. So how many times should we walk around here? And so the sound came from this little statue underneath this side altar that 3 of us are suffering. And so they all looked at each other and said, okay, we'll go around 3 times.
Wow.
And so they prayed the rosary and went around 3 times. And when they got finished, the rain stopped
Wow.
after 3 days. Yeah.
St. Rita. Well, you were a part of that. I never knew that he got the guy that took care of Padre Pio got the stigmata.
Yeah.
Is he still living?
Yeah. And
Is
so
Gino still living?
he's still living, yeah, as far as I know.
Huh.
But I don't know whether he died yet.
What was his name? Gino what?
No, I'll just look up Father Gino.
Or the Gino.
That's
Yeah,
fascinating.
yeah.
That's fascinating.
He's quite a guy. Yeah.
No, I'll check him out after we get done. But
So
we got another thing to look into now with Father Gino. Do you know if he's got any miraculous healings or anything attributed his
I
intercession?
I don't know. But he painted all the 15 mysteries of the Rosary, and then they put all of those in one pamphlet, and so I bought those while I was there, and beside the sculpt, then he started sculpting with a figurine, and so a friend of mine had cancer that I went to school with, and when she was taking treatments like Aunt Mary was, she got so sick and all, and every week she'd have to go in for another thing. I would send her a little gift each week to get her mind off the medicine, and so that she could handle the cancer treatment.
Wow.
And I sent her, she wasn't Catholic, but I sent her all those pictures, and I wished I had them back. So, but I don't.
Oh.
They did their job.
Yeah. But she died anyhow. So
Yeah.
everybody died.
Yeah.
I'm the last one. Yeah.
Yeah, you're the last one standing. St. Rita just lost the last of her classmates last month. Passed away.
Is that right?
Yeah, so she's the last of her class.
Oh, my goodness. What year did you graduate high school?
This is nurses
Do
training.
Oh, nurse.
What year did you graduate your nurses training?
Nurses training. Yeah.
What year was that?
1947.
Wow. After the war.
Yeah.
So it's going on 80 years. Tough times.
So I would have joined the service, but the war was over when I got out, and so I took care of the veterans. Worked at the Veterans Hospital and took care of the vets. Yeah.
Here in Fort Wayne, right?
I first in California for a year,
Oh.
and then Chicago for a year.
Oh, my
And
goodness.
then I transferred down to Fort Wayne.
Okay.
When they opened up, in 1950. So, yeah.
There was a lot of suffering, Rita, with the soldiers that...
Yeah, I thought so.
Amputees,
But a lot of them were good.
all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. There were a lot of paraplegics that got killed in the World War II.
Well,
Yeah.
spinal cord issues?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, God bless you. I mean, to do that work, it's tough work.
Yeah.
Nurses are very important in terms of people's recovery. I mean, I don't know what they are now, but the nurses back then were compassionate.
Well, didn't one of those guys get the hots for you?
Yeah.
But it was an Italian guy named Vito.
Oh, she had an Italian guy.
Did she?
No. This was a patient.
Yeah, I know, but there was an Italian guy in the wood mix later on.
Yeah.
You took care of him.
Was that when you were in Chicago?
No, the Italians. Yeah, that was Chicago.
Yeah.
I bet he was a mama's boy.
No, she said he was a lot like Alex.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I would have.
I
stand
all about
rejected.
you, Alex. I know what it's like.
Yeah, well, so Mother Mary had the gift of bilocation for the reasons of lessening the torment of the disciples and stuff. Padre Pio, he has been very active all over the world. I got to call my buddy, my Jewish friend, and ask him what he knows about Padre Pio and why he brought it up. But we talked about other things.
Weren't there bomber fighters from World War II declared that he had been in the sky?
Yeah.
What?
Padre Pio had bilocated,
Yes.
and these bombers were on a mission. They saw him in the sky.
I'm sure they did, because he was protecting, some very
this monastery or whatever he was
some
at.
sacred places. Yeah.
When Mary was dying, she wanted her apostles to come home to be there when she died, and some of them were too far away, couldn't make it in time. So she had to bring them home by bilocating.
That's right. To get them all, that's right. She had to do some extra special things in order for them to participate.
Yeah.
And of course they were 20 years into it, and I think she prepared them, and they were very distraught when she died. I mean, but nonetheless, now they're orphaned, but better prepared to present our Lord's mission and to present His church for the salvation of. And she says, Our Lady said, all of humanity. Oh.
So IRS trying to get money again?
I just sent the checks. I just sent checks. I got to do another check. They want their money up front. And then they penalize you if you don't send it in. It's like, why don't you wait and see if I made anything this year?
So wait for me to die. You can have it all.
Right.
Yeah. Nothing but bills.
So Rita, I was with do you remember Father Rookie, Peter Mary Rookie?
I never met Father Rookie.
Well, your son did. We
did at that party that time.
Wisdom of the Woman.
Oh yeah.
We were at that.
Yeah, that's right.
Your mother
we were
came
at the
to
picnic.
Did your mother come?
Yeah, I had mom and dad both there.
Were they there? Okay.
And they met Father Peter Mary. Peter Mary came up to me when he first met me, and I was tending the grill for Alex there with that picnic we were having. And he walks up to me, and I kind of realized who he was. And he just looks at me, he says, how many people in your family think you're nuts?
Yeah.
And I said, pretty much all of them except for those two over there. So that's my mom and dad. And he goes, I got to talk to them.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. And he went over, and they sat and talked.
Well, at the time, Father Rookie was restricted, that he could not leave his cell because he was accused of doing something. And so I said, Father Rookie, we got this book, Jim Carrico, Wisdom of the Woman. I said, you were involved in the life of Venerable Mary of Agreda, and that you did the research at St. Mary Major. And I said, would you come? And he goes, yeah, I can come. He goes, so he wasn't supposed to come, but he came because you were going to be there and because of the book, and he was friends of Jim Carrico. Mm-hmm. And Rookie, again, approached your son, and I don't know what they got going, some kind of a ticker tape of people that are working for our Lord at that level, but he knew right away that this kid's going to be tortured.
Oh, he knew.
But I was at a healing service with Father Rookie. I went, and Michelle Davis was there, and we went to Chicago, and it was at the Basilica. And Father Rookie and I had contact because I wanted to republish The Life of Venerable Mary of Agreda, and he was the one, it was a picture of him in the book, and he did the research at St. Mary Major, and he also, as we republished the book, he wrote a little thing on the book, thanks to Father Solanus, Knights of Columbus, blah, blah, blah. And so we went to this healing service, and he's doing walking down the aisle and giving the sign of the cross on the head and putting his hand on and so on and so forth. And there's a lady up at the podium, and I'm in the back of the church, and I'm looking at Father Rookie go down the line. A lady at the podium says, Father Rookie's left, but he'll be back very soon. He has to do something or whatever. And I said, what are you talking about? He's right in front of me. He's going down the aisle. And she says, again, Father Rookie has left. And I said, this lady did not see what I'm seeing. I said, so Michelle Davis is downstairs. And she explained to me, I said, this is what's going on. This lady thought Father Rookie left. And but he hasn't. And he goes on. She said, no. Michelle said, Father Rookie's downstairs. So what's he doing downstairs? She says, well, this lady had this demonic. She's throwing up. She's got this demonic attack. And I'm saying,
he had to make an emergency call while he's blessing all these other people.
Yeah. So, but the lady's going, he ain't there. And so finally, we gave Father Rookie a ride to the airport in Chicago. A ride to the airport in Chicago, and he's sitting on the seat, and I said, "Hey, Father." Is that you?
No, it's your phone.
So he said, "Father, I was watching you doing a healing service upstairs, and the lady kept saying you weren't there. And then Michelle Davis says you was downstairs, and there was a person that was apparently possessed, and that you were ministering to her." And I said to him, "What's the deal?" And he says, here's what he says to me. He goes, "Well, you understand, I'm not the official exorcist." I said, "Okay." He said, "But what am I going to do? Leave her lying downstairs in a room?" I said, "Of course not, Father. You don't have to be there." I said, that was it. Thank you. You know, he answered the question.
He was, in that instance, he would have been the attending physician on duty.
That's right.
You know.
That's right. Right. Yeah. And the church decided to lock him in his cell because of a false accusation.
Well, they were scared, and they, you know, there was a lot of stuff going on. So an accusation carried a lot of, you know, guilty until proven innocent type of stuff.